Next up, the latest from Steven Soderbergh, director of the Ocean's movies, of a lot of different films, but he's mainly known for the three Ocean's movies. No Sudden Move. This premiered on HBO Max not too long ago. The logline: a group of criminals is brought together under mysterious circumstances and have to work together to uncover what's really going on when their simple job goes completely sideways. Now, I enjoyed this movie. I'm a Steven Soderbergh fan. I like most of the movies that I've seen him in, that I've seen of his. Um,
Mhm.
we were talking about Don Cheadle, and Don Cheadle might be my favorite actor.
Okay.
I think he's generally good to great in everything that he's in. Even if it's something like Space Jam, he's at least kind of
He was
into
the
it.
best
You know
thing
what I
in
mean?
Space Jam.
He was very sinister, and like he was kind of into
He
it.
was committed. He was committed to that performance.
Yeah,
Algae Rhythm.
and in this movie he plays Kurt Goines, which is a weird name.
Goins.
Goins.
Um,
Goins.
Goines, thank you. It's been a few weeks since I've seen the movie. Look, this movie stars Don Cheadle, Benicio del Toro, David Harbour, John Hamm, Brendan Fraser, Kieran Culkin, Julia Fox, Ray Liotta, Bill Duke. This is an all-star cast, and
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon makes an appearance. I
Matt
enjoyed this
Damon.
movie.
Matt
I
Damon
enjoyed this
who
movie
was
very much.
uncredited in this movie. Matt Damon went uncredited in this movie.
That was intentional.
That's very telling.
Yeah, well. I think
They
it's
wanted it to
because
be a
it's a
surprise
surprise.
cameo.
Yeah, it's a surprise because at
Oh,
the end of
sorry
that
for.
movie,
Don't
like
forget spoilers, guys. Spoilers.
I
Spoilers.
mean,
Now I'm just
it's
letting the audience know. Spoilers. Reminding them.
I think it was
so I
intentional. He was committed to this, but it's garbage. But go ahead, Micah. Go ahead.
I think it was, well, one, that Matt Damon wasn't supposed to play that character. He was kind of a last minute replacement. They wanted George Clooney to do it.
Oh, really?
Um,
Okay.
yeah,
George
Another.
was
George
like,
Clooney was originally, but he had other commitments. He's been in those Ocean movies. He's a big fan
I thought Matt Damon
of
did
Steven
well
Spielberg.
personally. I thought.
I think he did well. I think as well. But he was, working off of his expertise versus the script and the direction that was given
So
to him. And
I don't know. He kind of brought it
so
together for me.
part of why I like this movie is the way it's shot. It's it's a little ballsy in that some aspect changes happen in certain scenes, and there's certain fisheye lenses in certain scenes. I don't know. I kind of like that artsy stuff. Um, but like I said, maybe I'm a little biased. I like Steven Soderbergh. I thought the script was solid. I think it got a little messy towards the end, particularly with Don Cheadle's character trying to figure out what is exactly going on. But I do like the undercover themes of the movie. All these gangsters thinking that they are, the top dog, when in reality, like, all you blue collar people are being run by white collar people. And
Hmm.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this movie way more than I thought I did. Now, this isn't one of those movies where I think I'm gonna rewatch it, but I enjoyed it while I was watching it. Now, I want to get to Liz last because I think Liz is the dissenting opinion, and I want her to have the last word. So, Neo, what do you think about No Sudden Move?
I actually like the movie. I will say it definitely got a little convoluted towards the end, and I was having trouble figuring out, what actually happened. I didn't have to rewatch it, but I did have to read a little bit on it to kind of make it make sense to me. And so it did get convoluted at the end, but I thought there were some great performances. I mean, I love Don Cheadle. I'm with you. I mean, ever since Devil in the Blue Dress, I've been a Don Cheadle fan. So, I mean, he
Mhm.
he crushed that performance. But, um, you know, I don't know that he did War Machine justice, but it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know. I thought the movie was good. I mean, the performances were great. Benicio del Toro was fantastic. I thought I forget the guy's name who plays in Stranger Things. What's his name?
David Harbour.
David Harbour. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought I like him as an actor. I mean, he plays so many different roles. Because I also watched Black Widow, and he was in that, and that was great. But yeah, so he was great in it. Rather, I like. I mean, it was an all-star cast, and it was just there was just craziness going on. So, you know, if I were, I don't know, are we doing stars? If I were giving it stars, maybe like 3.5, because it did get really convoluted and hard to follow at the end there. But like I said, once I understood a little more about it, it made a little more sense. A little background.
Rob, what
It's-
say you?
I enjoyed it. I'm with you guys. I enjoyed the aesthetic of it, the 50s, just a gritty Detroit downtown,
Busy.
like the cars, the wardrobe.
Busy's.
It was really neat. And like you, Micah, at first I found that fisheye lens kind of jarring because I found that it was removing me from the main action on scene. But then post movie, reflecting on it, the entire movie is about misdirection and no honor among thieves. So then it was just kind of like, okay, so visually, I didn't really enjoy how my eye was being brought out of the main scene, if you will, because of the fisheye lens. But then it was just kind of like, but it fits the theme of the movie. So in that sense, that's freaking brilliant. That's really well done. But I'm not a fan of that particular style of cinematography, if you will. Um,
Mhm.
and I know that on our Twitter feed, when we put this out, Javon Anderson, who plays Lonnie, the bellhop, who Don Cheadle goes to solicit safe haven from him when the
Oh yeah,
bounty gets
He was
marked
in.
up.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So he's just an up and comer
he sold him
from
out though.
Detroit.
Oh no, he didn't
He's
sell him
done
out. That's right. No, he didn't sell him
yeah.
out.
So he's done a number of productions and he's on the way up. And I mean, I've just watched snippets, just different interviews. He seems like a young, dynamic guy, and really he held his own when he was in scenes with Don Cheadle. It wasn't just an ancillary actor; it was two guys talking about the story, driving it forward. They were just driving the narrative forward. So, props to Javon Anderson for just an up and comer. It was a good performance. So, really, I enjoyed it, and like I said, like no honor among thieves. Follow the money. It was entertaining.
All right, Liz, tell us why we're wrong.
I like the way you put that.
Their own interpretation and opinion, even though it's wrong because it doesn't align with my own. But first, props, and shout out to actor Craig's Mums Grant, who played Jimmy. He was one of the first characters that Don Cheadle's character came into contact with that set him up for this job. He is better known as Poet from Oz. He was also on The Wire. He's been in a lot of things. He passed away in March of this year. So props to him. I wasn't expecting to see him on screen again. So I was very delighted to see his character. But yeah.
I didn't know he passed away.
Yeah, he passed away in March of this year. I think he was only 51. He was in his 50s. So still fairly young. But in terms of this movie, it didn't do it for me. So this is a film noir. So, it's supposed to be about kind of like a heist, crime action, kind of dark cinematography or whatever. I get it. However, I just am sick of this idea of having all-star cast and having that be the flair, the thing that attracts you and makes you think that this movie is great, because it wasn't great to me. I thought the dialogue was lacking. I thought the kids were annoying. Like, don't tell me y'all looked at those kids and were like, okay, these are some good kids. They were annoying
Well,
as fuck.
I hate kids in movies, so
You just
I do. I love kids. Hate them in movies.
Not son. I'm just like, bruh. They, in a real world, they would have shot him early on. Like, sit down and be quiet.
But they weren't really trying to kill anybody.
Well, that's unrealistic in itself. But
that wasn't
It was supposed to be a babysitting job.
The
That
women,
wasn't the job.
the women, but people go beyond the job when they feel threatened, and this kid was not doing what he was told to do. The women were annoying. I was just like, oh my god, stop talking, stop talking, stop talking.
Women were
I felt
funny to me. They had me laughing.
I thought that there were too many characters that were well, one, I thought that there were too many characters, but a lot of characters that were underdeveloped and that were just like coming and
That I
going
agree with.
um and yeah, it didn't do it for me. I don't think it was the worst movie that I've ever seen by far. And I do think that, the stellar actors that were in the movie, they acted very well. I just think that the script was lacking.
Mm.
Because and I knew that Matt Damon was supposed to be in the movie, and I hate when this happens to me, and I think you guys can relate. Someone's supposed to be in the movie, so you're just waiting for them to come up and appear and appear. So we're getting towards the end of the movie. I'm like, what the fuck happened to Matt Damon? And then he shows up, and I'm like, oh, okay. And I peeped his character out as soon as he came on screen. He was calm, cool, collected. So you're like, okay, this is the guy, right? This is the guy. So I thought he did well, for Matt Damon, but it didn't do it for me. I needed a stronger script. I needed less characters confusing things. That's typical Steven Soderbergh. That's typical of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of a miss for me, but I understood Don Cheadle in this movie more than I did Don Cheadle in Space Jam. Space Jam
But
is
speaking of understanding,
he's not Don Cheadle. It's Algae Rhythm. Algae Rhythm.
But speaking of understanding actors, it was refreshing to actually hear Benicio del Toro's lines. I could actually hear what he was saying, and that was refreshing because he usually plays.
You're
his
right. It's hard to hear.
characters
It's hard to hear.
everything.
Yeah,
But he was very clear, and
I kept having to turn the volume up. I'm like,
I did too. I did have to put on the closed captions.
But he was great. I mean, he was great. He has like a muted machismo, if you will, a very muted machismo that I think works well for him.
Yeah.
And I was kind of sad, at his demise in the movie. It was expected because he wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
All focus on the poo nay. Wasn't paying attention.
I saw it coming though. That one I saw it coming. I saw when they were in the car. I was like, "Yep, I know what's about to happen right here."
Right.
But in his flask, though, did you see that? Like his flask initially got him.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's why I don't carry a flask with me.
You should carry a flask with you because it protected him from dying the first time.
But it set him up though. It set him up because he would have been ready if she had drawn on him initially. She caught him off guard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Micah, if I were to give this a star, I would give it 1.5.
Ooh.
Out of 4 or 5?
I was going out of 5.
Well, that's even more harsh, though.
I was going 3.5 out of 5. But if we're doing 4 stars, I couldn't give it more than a 3.
I'd give it 1.5 out of 4. Space Jam, I would give a big fat 0.
Yeah.
I tend to not like the star rating. I tend to want people to hear what we say and then bottom line it with a recommend or do not recommend. Space Jam,
recommend.
Wholeheartedly do not recommend that movie.
Recommend.
And for
Space Jam, do not recommend Space Jam.
Right. And for
unless you're 10.
Yeah, unless you're 10 and have seen every Warner Brothers movie ever. That movie reminded me so much of this book that I can't stand called Ready Player One. And that entire book, that entire book.
I like that movie though.
Just the movie's better than the book. I'll give it that.
I haven't read the book,
but the book is literally this person just kind of narrating, just naming things from his childhood, from the 80s, right? And it gets to a point where he's literally just listing things, and that's what Space Jam felt like to me. It felt like another Ready Player One.
You know,
And,
they promoted I don't know if you noticed, they were promoting the hell out of the Matrix.
Oh, my
yeah,
gosh.
because the fourth Matrix movie is coming out.
Yeah,
this year.
it's coming out in December. Yep.
Yeah,
Not
so
watching that
Yeah.
either. unless
synergy.
What? You're not doing what?
Not. I'm sorry. Not watching that either. Unless you like.
Who is this person?
Enough.
That's like
Enough.
that's one of the best movies ever
Enough.
in
The first
history.
one.
The first one, yeah, the
Enough.
first one. The
Mhm.
first one.
We don't need the fourth iteration of it.
Second and third were, left a lot to be desired.
But I think also good advice for people that are our age, because we are well seasoned. We remember the original version of these Warner Brother cartoon characters.
Which many of them were
This-
racist, by the way.
Many of them
I
were
was surprised the
racist, but,
foghorn was there.
I was surprised too.
but we didn't know that at the time as little kids. And at least for me,
But we know it now.
I loved Bugs Bunny. I loved Elmer Fudd. I loved The Martian. I loved all of Donald Duck. I loved all of it. If you were looking,
I wasn't a Warner Brothers fan. I didn't like Looney Tunes, actually.
if you were looking to your Looney Tunes, nostalgia or whatever, do not watch Space Jam. It will disappoint you and it will hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
It will hurt your feelings.
Do not recommend
Mhm.
Space Jam. I recommend No Sudden Move. But just try to pay attention, because it does get a little confusing.
That's
Yeah,
another thing.
towards the
Micah
end,
said he did- Micah or one of you guys said you didn't watch it twice. I did have to watch it twice because I'm just like, I feel like I missed something.
Yeah.
Um,
I think they did
I
one
did-
too many twists.
I did watch it
M.
twice.
Night. What a twist.
Yeah. All
All
right.
right. Well, look. Next time, I that's my goal, man. My goal is to pass the Lizzie Enders test
For good movies.
I need to come
That's
on
a tough
Black
test.
I need to come on Black Cinema, Micah. I need to come on Black Cinema.
yes, we need to talk about that.
Conversation about these movies and my Lizzie
Yes, we
Enders
need to
test.
talk about that. There you go.
All right. So great job, Micah. That's it for movie time.
We said we have to bring popcorn next time. We really
Oh, real
have to.
quick. A couple of comments. Are we not going to talk about Don Cheadle's Emmy nomination? Mike Wolf says, and apparently,
Oh, come on. Yeah. Okay.
No, because he didn't.
Real quick.
No, because he was surprised that he was surprised that he got nominated. So I mentioned that he was a two-time Golden Globe winner. So that's enough. That's enough.
Yeah, he got an Emmy nomination for his 2 minutes in all of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh.
That's what he got it for?
Yes.
That's what he got it for. Yeah, that's what he got it for. Meanwhile, Carl Lumbly is sitting there acting his ass off in multiple episodes, and they just gave it to Don Cheadle. I think they were thinking of Carl Lumbly but didn't know his name. So they said, oh, well, that guy must be Don Cheadle.
Wow. Micah went there. And apparently, Mike Wolf also mentioned that they removed the Pepe Le Pew scene.
Well.
Yeah, because Pepe Le Pew is a bit of a rapist.
He's
So
he's a rapist, racist rapists. I mean, they're all.
They kept Speedy Gonzalez.
Speedy. I was surprised at that as well.
Right.
That was surprising to me, because I even said, I was like, Speedy Gonzalez, really?
Mhm.